Hello, everybody. I'm Marianumi, and today I have the honor to be here with the Dr. Amrita Sharma. She is the lead program facilitator at the Whole Brain Health Initiative. She has a PhD in social psychology from India. Her research topic focuses on deep understanding of aggression and development of self-concept among adolescents. Her master thesis explored the topic of emotional intelligence at colleague level students. She also has published papers in various journals. She did a research assistantship at Stanford University on emotional regulation in children with autism. She also supervises and writes for the Whole Brain Health blog. Amrita is a mom of a beautiful girl, and it's an honor to be here with you, Amrita. Please welcome to this part of the FibroGuerreras community. And please, Amrita, tell us more about yourself. What did you enjoy the most activity during this quarantine? And welcome.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here. And it's freshness also from the daily routine that the COVID has put on us. Initially, when the corona started, I was a little happy because the life was a little less chaotic. Otherwise, it's school run, office run, and going here and there. But then that started to wear down a bit, and then the boringness of the daily thing started. I really enjoyed cooking. I was baking, cooking, and doing stuff. I was like, I'm just exploring a different part of me. But then slowly I was doing so much cooking, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because I got into thing like I need to prepare fresh stuff. I should not eat any frozen things, more focus on the health. But then I realized, oh my God, that's so much work.
I know.
But I've been trying to focus more on my health, trying to be more regular with the meditation. It's been always difficult for me to meditate. My mind keeps wandering, but I'm trying really hard to just get that into routine, because I know once it gets into routine, it will be more easy to follow.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And today we're going to talk about the interesting topic that everybody, I think that in the earth we had that experience. So we're going to talk about stress. Amrita, tell us please, what is stress?
Stress is very subjective thing, we all go through stress, and still we all experience in a very different way. Something that could be very stressful for me, for you it will be like, what is there to worry about? It's just, I can do it like that. So we have to understand it's very subjective. And that is why there have been points when it has been difficult to define also. But defining anything, it does helps a lot. It was in early 1936 when Hans Sally, he described it. He specifically said that it's a very non-specific response of our body to any change or adjustment that is required on our part. And it's very important to focus on the non-specific term that he used, because when we undergo stress, there is nothing like you are undergoing stress, so you will go through point 1, you will feel point 1, you'll feel point 2, point 3. No, it's not like that. I may feel something different, and you may feel something different for the same thing that is happening in our life. So that is, we respond, any changes that are happening around, and it's very challenging for us. Our body will react to that it will react physically, emotionally, psychologically to that changes. So it's our reaction of our body to anything that is happening around us that requires demand on us to do.
Okay, thank you. And what about the signals of chronic stress?
So one thing we have to notice is that there isn't what signals we have when we are stressful. When they increase in intensity and they continue for a prolonged period of time, all those symptoms and signs will be the signs of chronic stress.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the signs which we can feel physically is like when we are very stressful, we may have sweaty hands, we may sweat a lot, we have muscle tension in our back, in our shoulders, in our when we are stressed, we kind of get tighten up, and we feel that around this area of our body, it's very tighten up. If we do stretching and stuff, we'll realize, oh my god, I didn't realize it was so tight, and then you feel, oh, it's so much painful. There are sore points on our body. Then we also see we clench our teeth and jaws. We don't realize that also, but when we are just something happens and we are very stressful and we are like this, and if you go into a class and you are asked to relax your face, and then you feel like, oh, I was just this thing, I was clenching it so hard. Then some people may also feel palpitation, chest pain, and headaches, and sometimes migraines. The flare-up of migraines, they are also because of people undergoing stress. Some people, because of the stress, they may indulge into overeating, or some people may just completely give up food. For some, just to get rid of that stress, some people may actually start drinking alcohol or getting into drugs. Having a little bit of alcohol is perfectly okay. We all have that, but we realize that when we are under stress, that one glass of wine will change into 5, 6, 7, and we don't really realize it, and you just get into habit of that. So that also affects, and it all affects our mood. We become very anxious whenever we are, or some people may have depression over their sadness and gloominess happens, and people become quiet and withdrawn from other people. So we all feel that when we are stressed, but if that continues for a long time, then those all become a sign of chronic stress.
Okay, thank you. Do we need stress in our daily life? Does it have any benefit for us?
Absolutely. Stress is not something that's really bad. Like stress kills you is an overestimation of the word stress, because stress does have a lot of benefits on our daily life also. Because like when you have to move to a new place, moving to a new home, then with that also stress comes, because you have to pack stuff and do, but you're also at the same time excited about doing that. And that stress, what happens is, there are two aspects to the stress, the physical aspect and the psychological. So during the physical component, what happens is, when we are under stress, our sympathetic nervous system, it becomes activated. So when it becomes activated, it releases the hormones epinephrine, and our body gets into fight or flight. So if you are in a danger and you feel stress, your processing speed becomes really quick, and that helps you to run away from there, or to master out a plan very quickly what you have to do. Like if I just simply ask you, if you encounter a lion, what will happen? Here you just think, okay, I may do this, I may do that. But when you are exactly in front of an animal, a bear, then your body undergoes stress, and all the systems start working, and you're very quick. The reaction time to that thing is very quick.
Yeah, to survive.
Yeah,
survive, move. Yeah.
It's the pumping up of the heart increases, our breathing increase, and our muscles become really active for that time. So it does help to so our memory increases for that small duration, our processing speed increases. And in fact, there was one study that was done in Stanford University, and they found out that when you're under stress, it kinds of activates some of the biological process in our body that helps in the healing of our healing from any illness, accident we go it. They did this research with people undergoing knee surgeries, and those when they were a little bit of stress, not the hyper or chronic, it helped them to heal faster. So stress is not all bad, it is good, because it's helping our body, our health, and even up our memory and our processing speed when we are in a danger thing.
Interesting. Amrita, on the other hand, when does stress become negative stress?
So so we have to be very careful. Now, when we discuss everything rosy about stress, very easily the same stress can become really harmful for us. We faces challenges in our day-to-day life also, but when those challenges, they keep on happening one after another, and our body get time to relax. We do not get any time to practice our mental hygiene, and it's just too much on our body. Like I said, when we are under stress, our autonomic nervous systems get activated and they releases hormones which help us. But if we are in continuous mode of challenges and problems and changes and demands on our body as happening, that will continue for a long period of time, and that led to wear and tear in our body, uh, our tissues, our whole body. It start to take toll on our body. The balance, the equilibrium of our body is disturbed, and during that time, it is when the stress, the simple stress which was benefiting you, it becomes really harmful, because you are not getting time to just relax on and focus clearly on the things that are coming. And because of that, your body starts getting really weak, and you may indulge into uh, habits like overeating, alcohol, drug use. Or because of that, when you have too much, like for a small duration, when you're stressed, you may have the muscle tighten up. But if
Mhm.
that stress continues, it's going to tighten up. Your body is not getting any time to relax. It may lead to body aches, muscle pain, and reduction in the strengthening of muscles, and heart failures, heart attacks. The BP, this most important thing, the blood pressure shoots up or it may shoot down when you're under a long period of stress. So if it continues for a long period of time without any break from it, then it is very easily the same stress can becomes really negative impact on your body.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And how stress affect us as a social level?
It has an immense effect on our social level also. It is only like we were discussing earlier, how stress becomes negative to us. It is that negative impact of the stress that also affects social. What usually happens is that when we are under a stressful situation, we tend to get so involved in that situation, so engrossed that what are the problem that is happening in our life, that we start to cut off from our surroundings. And which is why you start having you're not having a great relationship with your friends, because you are so engrossed in your life right now. You just forget that maybe sometime even talking to them may actually help that problem solve, but you just become your mind is just oriented towards that, and that kind of clouds your judgment. And you the interaction level with your spouse, with your kids, with your family members, your friends and neighbors, it all gets started affecting. And it's like a vicious cycle also. Because of the stress, you stopped interacting with other people, and that leads to more isolation and the more isolated you are, the more frustrated you get, and more frustrated you get more stress. So it's like a cycle that goes on. And during that time, you just don't realize it, that it's just you have to make some little efforts, which are not actually little. When you are under stress, you have to make, that seems like a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to make efforts. Otherwise that affects the whole your whole social life around you. And you become lonely, you in people get into eating junk, getting into unhealthy practices. So it affects in a wide range of circle.
Yes. Yeah, totally agree. And Amrita, can stress be felt different by fiber woman? Fiber woman means for a woman that they have fibromyalgia, chronic pain.
There have not been a very like scientifically done experiments on them or researches on them, that but they have found out that in the fibromyalgia, what happens is that the one of the thing happens when we are under a lot of stress is our hypothalamus get very activated.
Hmm.
And it's there's HPA axis, that is hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal gland. So that when you are under stress, it gets activated. And it has been found scientifically that there is a hyperactivity in that axis in the people suffering from fibromyalgia. So what happens is that when it's overactivated, there's more stimulation of cortisol, and it has also affected the amygdala. which is responsible because there was reduction in the gray matter. And out of many things that gray matter does, one of the thing is also our muscle control. And with the people with fibromyalgia, the strengthening of muscle is weak in them because of the illness. So the more stressful you are, those muscles do not have that much strength in them. So you may feel more pain and more fatigue when you are under stress. So like a person who is not having fibro, and the person who's having a fibro, if they're undergoing the same level of stress, I would expect that because of this research that there's a hyperactivity in the HP axis, because there is the same person without fibro will also be experiencing more level of this in reduction. But since they have been researched with the fibro, they will feel more pain and more fatigue and depression. So yeah, it's like the symptoms associated with the fibro, they will experience more because of this.
Okay. Can direct or indirect effects of stress each leads to an increase in illness like fibromyalgia?
Definitely yes, because people who suffer from fibro, they have some symptoms on a daily basis also, but they learn to manage them, like how to manage them. It's not like there may be people, but most of the people, they have some amount of symptoms that they experience. But there are times when these symptoms get worse, or they may increase in intensity, and that is what called the flare-ups that happens. And it has been seen that these flare-ups usually occur when people go through a lot of stressful situation, because they have been found that there are certain stressful triggers, both physically and psychologically, that leads to fibro. It could be undergoing a different illness or an accident or a trauma. So stress in generally weakens your body. And if you are already having certain illnesses which are making your body weak, and you are under stress, then its impact is gonna double up. So a normal person, like if a person already have a heart issue, and if they are undergoing stress, there is more chances of problem with the heart. Similarly, with the fibromyalgia, your body is already undergoing lot, you have symptoms, and when you are very stressful, they kind of elevate those, they increase those symptoms. So you feel more pain and your day-to-day life, and those flare-up happens very often. That is the thing.
Okay, thank you. Amrita, you and I, we work with patients that they have Alzheimer and dementia, especially with senior people, and I know that we are passionate about the brain and the memory, but so how stress can affect our memory?
What happens is, like stress, in like we were earlier discussing, its benefit, like for a small duration of time, it could be beneficial for us because it makes our to reaction to danger good. But when it continues for a longer time, it affects our memory immensely. You will realize, like whenever the type of memory you form, the type of memory your brain will form, how it remembers an event, it will completely be different when we are under stressful situation. If we are under a lot of stress and we are witnessing anything, and if you are later asked to recall that memory, we will not recall it accurately. The stress will cloud our judgment, our perception about. And that is the reason, like in any crime situation, the testimony of an eyewitness is not given much worth, because that point of time you're in a lot of stress, and that stress will cloud your memory. It's not gonna be like a very, if I'm just observing right now, I'm in a good position, so later on if you ask me like what was it, I would tell, okay, we were talking about this, we were wearing this, there was this background. But at the same time, if I'm very much stressful, I will not recall it. I will more recall it from a perception about, oh, I was so scared. I couldn't, maybe that was a blue behind her, or maybe sky blue or light blue. I don't recall that. So it clouds our judgment.
Yeah,
And
and
also,
yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just came to my mind like even me in this time of quarantine, that we can have experience of different levels of stress, and happen to me like I was telling my husband like, yeah, let's go there to your friend, and well, my friend, I forgot his name, and he's like, we're talking about, you don't know the name of my friend? That it was like, yeah, even family members, or some quick details to mention some objects, something that can happen when you are in this atmosphere of stress.
That's true. We have this habit of watching the nightly news daily so that we are aware of what is happening around. And I've usually seen, because I have a daughter, and while whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm doing, she's always asking me questions. And now it has become just a part of me. I can do my thing, and I can also ask her, I can also answer her questions. But whenever I'm seeing these news, and when those numbers come up and new hotspots they are talking about, and they show like a large group of gathering people doing it, and she has a habit of always asking me something. And when she asked me at that point of time, but I'm so anxious and stressful, like when will this get over, when will the normal come back? I was like, she says, and I'm like, what were you talking about? And it takes time for me to respond to her. So we see that in the daily thing also.
It's true.
Additionally, what we know is that when we are under stressful situation, the level of cortisol in our body increases. So, and we have to understand everything, when it's in a limit, in a range, it is good for us. But beyond that, it's not really good for us. So cortisol in a limit range, it's okay for our memory. But when it goes on to increase more, it affects our decision making, our judgment, our attention. And because of the stress, it has been found that various researches have been done. People who undergo chronic stress, they're shrinking in their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that is responsible for our working memory, our attention, and which could in further affect people with problems like depression, Alzheimer. So stress, it definitely is affecting a lot in our memory. In
Yes.
fact, it causes a lot of cognitive impairment also.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I think that we can talk about memory in another interview, because I have, and you have also, a lot of activities that the fiber women they can do to improve their memory. So
oh
coming
yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Thank you, Amrita. And a couple last questions. How do we reverse the impact of stress on our brains?
That is a very that's like a silver lining in our whole thing, because our brain is a beautiful part of our body. It's like we can reverse them. So something like stress that is harming us, we can still work on our brain, and we can still make new connections. That is the beauty of our brain. It's like those Legos thing the kids play with. Like if they break, like whenever my kid is making and something break, I always tell her this is the beauty. If even if it's break, you can repair it. It's not like any other toy that once gone, it's
Yeah,
gone.
the end.
So yeah. So it's with the brain also. We if we work little more and we focus more, we can repair the brain, and we can those changes that are happening are not permanent. And one of the things that really is helpful is exercising. It is very good because not does it just lowers the level of the bad hormones, but it also increases endorphins, which are also a very they lift our mood, and they are natural painkiller also. So even when in the cases like fibromyalgia, what happens is because we feel a lot of pain, we feel a lot of the muscles are not that strengthening, and the doctor may prescribe medication so that the symptoms subside. In that cases also, it is very important that we try as much as possible to be active. So you don't really have to go to the gym and do like really heavy weightlifting and things like that. Simple 20 to 30 minutes walking, a brisk, like starting with the slow. As you progress, you can build up your speed. You can start doing the brisk walking. It could really help our body. Similarly, stretching is one of the exercise that's so beautiful, and still it is so underestimated, because even when you're doing a lot of exercises, you kind of, when you lift up this, like strength training is very good because it builds up your muscles, but when you're doing it, you tighten your muscles. So after that also, it's very important to stretch, to have some time out for flexibility, because otherwise your muscles will get shortened, and when you have to do new things, they will be so tight, it's going to cause a lot of pain. So I would always suggest that this is my personal thing, that I would say that even like the daily household chores, they also involve a lot of lifting and doing around. And if you are a mother, or if you're going to office that has a high, it's not a very sedentary position, and you have to go around the stores or office area. So sometimes even that would count as a physical activity. But at the end of the day, you should always take out your time to do some bit of flexibility, your stretching, because during the day you don't realize you're putting so much on your body that it's just getting tense, and you need to relax at the end of the day. So stretching is very important. You can also indulge in like very gentle form of aerobic exercises like swimming and pool exercises. So when you do all those exercises, what happens is you release endorphins. It makes your mood good, and it also improves your sleep quality. With the sleep is immensely important for our brain, because it is during our sleep, the quality and the length of the sleep, that repairs our brain through all, and it changes your short-term memory to long-term memory. So the exercise will help with your mood, will improve your sleep, which is often like most of the cases, when you are under a lot of stress, your just sleep goes away because you're so just thinking about the problem. So all like a loop. So it will also improve your sleep quality. An additional thing is meditation. It could be really helpful in dealing with stress, and that will be very helpful with the memory also, because when you do meditation, you practice what, like we all do the physical hygiene, but we never think about the mental hygiene. For us, what we say we are relaxing is we'll just switch on a television show and we'll start binge watching it, but that's not relaxing. That's just putting more pressure on your brain and more processing going on in your brain, and it's just you're cluttering it up. What I suggest, that having that little time, even if it's 5 minutes, you can start with 5 minutes and you can build upon those time. But it could be very helpful. It will repair our brain, it will repair our memory system, new synapses will form, and it will calm you down, and it will also just help you to maybe focus more on the problem that is giving you focusing more with a clear perspective to the thing that is giving you stress. So meditation is really helpful with the memory and dealing with stress. There are various apps also, because when you say meditation, people usually get, oh my god, but I don't know how to do it. I just cannot go and join a class because I don't know whether I like it. I do not want to invest in money, because nothing is, we have to accept that nothing, all these things which are so much important, basic, but nothing of them is cheap. They're all very expensive. So various apps like Headspace, Insight Timer, which are free and people can download those apps, and they have various meditation meditation exercises, and people can decide whatever they think is best for them, and then they can just start from a small duration and they can pick it up later. Then one of the things that could really help with our memory and with our stress is time management. It is very important because sometimes we just we have to take out some time to chalk out our priorities, because when we wake up and if we do not have any plan for the day, what happens is we just go around doing whatever you see first, and at the end of the day you realize the thing that were on priority, you were not able to focus on that. So it just burns out your brain completely, like, oh my god, now I have to do what, when is the time, when will I do it? And it just builds up more stress on you, and which is going to affect the memory even more. So setting out those priorities is very important. And when we manage our time that way, we could also like take out days where in those days we could just go with the flow of the day, because we have already done our prioritized things and we know that these things can wait. So we can take out those days where we can just focus on ourselves and not just going with the crisis management thing, because we planned out more, so we have time just for us also. Similarly, like intake of alcohol, caffeine, we may think that it's helping our memory because it is boosting up and making us react, but in the long term of time, it's not really beneficial for us. It's just is leading to a more impairment of our memory, our brain, and creating more stress in our life. So reducing this, I will not say that they're completely not good for us, because there has been a lot of benefits of caffeine. And so it is okay to have like a cup or two, but reducing the intake will definitely be helpful in long run. So yeah.
Yes. Definitely, I will share in the description for all the Fibro warriors that are listening to this interview. In the description of this video, I'm going to share the apps that Amrita just mentioned, like Insight Timer, Headspace. I use Sleep Cycle and Sleep Time as well. And I don't know if you have another that comes to your mind right now, like a resource that we can share with them. Yes,
like we can with the sleep thing, which is so important for our memory, we have to maintain a proper sleep routine. Like maintaining sleep routine and sometime listening to a little bit of calming music, it helps us. The temperature in your room, that helps with the sleep, because the sound sleep is very important, and sleep is something that is very quickly affected by anything that is happening in our life. If we are going through any illness, if we are having stress, then it is something that's very impactful. So if we have some same routine for the sleep, like a cup of chamomile tea for relaxing or listening to some music, it's the researchers have shown that not a pleasant temperature in the room, a little on a cooler side, helps more better with the sleep. So yes, doing all those things can also help us a lot.
Yes, definitely. For example, I want to share for the Fibro women that right now, in this middle of the quarantine, one of the exercises that I'm doing at home is my virtual flexibility class. I do 25 minutes every day, Monday until Friday. And also I'm tracking my steps daily. Like I know for sure that if I walk 10,000 steps or more, definitely I'm going to have no nightmares. Like definitely I'm going to sleep super good. If I'm like around 5,000 steps, probably I'm going to rest well, but my body feels like I need to do more movement. So I'm glad that you shared that movement is really important to activate your body, and also meditate, to find a place, a moment for yourself, because I know that we can do a lot of chores as well. That can count like, yeah, we are moving, but also our mind needs to calm down, right? So feel free to write the comments below this video and share with us what are you doing to to fight with the stress. And I don't know, Amrita, if you want to share what kind of exercise, in addition that you already mentioned, are the best for fighting the stress.
What I really like to do is just with the stress, I not just the exercises, but during these time, I really like to have some time for myself. I usually prefer it at the end of the day, because the whole day is because nowadays everybody at home, and there are more like there are demands from every side, and we are putting demands on each other, and in that we're just not getting time for ourselves. And so for this stress, and I do get stressful, so for me, that one thing that I try to get is like early morning, before, when nobody has woke up, I try to just wake up little earlier than everybody else in the house, and I just like to have that time for myself. And I may just have my tea in silence, or I may just go down the garden area of the apartment buildings and then just be by myself, or just look at my house plants. And also I try to get something in the night. So getting some time for myself is very important. And I also try to make a point to have like a 20-30 minutes of exercise. Earlier my goal was to just do exercises for reducing, like I had a goal of this much weight and that, but now it's more about just being with myself, able to focus more clearly and getting my body moving. So going on simple walks, taking out some time for yourself. You could read a book, something that you enjoy, and just meditate during that time, or sit just quietly with yourself, with nobody coming and going and asking you, or you having a calendar in front of you that we have to do this. Just taking in what is happening the moment you are in, just focusing on that. It has been very helpful with me. And the days when I'm not able to do it, I feel restless. I don't have really a nice day. So I try to have that.
Yes, it's true. Well, Amrita, thank you so much for your time. I don't know if you want to add any additional comment to this wonderful interview.
Oh, I really had such a nice time discussing with you. It was so much refreshing. Beside that, I also work with the Whole Brain Health Initiative, and we have some really amazing products over there that could really helpful for our brain and for our stress. And we also write about a lot of things in there and do the health coaching. So I would like them to, if anyone is interested, to go check out our website.
Perfect. Yeah. Click here in the link to see the Whole Brain Health Initiative, the blog. So has a interesting articles that Amrita is writing. So thank you so much again, Amrita. You have been very generous in sharing all this knowledge and experience that I'm sure that many of the fibro women will appreciate. And thank you very much for your time, your words, and for this moment that you have shared. So special, and a big hug for you.
Thank you so much. A virtual hug for you and all the fibro women out there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.